Hello. So today I just went over simple single-digit multiplication with my student. And so we were going over kind of just basic problems like this and different approaches to solving them. One of the things that you could do to solve a multiplication problem like this, and just to let you know, the way I got this worksheet is just by Googling single-digit multiplication worksheet. And then in here, you can customize it with whichever numbers. So I chose 2, 3, and 4 since those were the first few numbers that we were working on. And then you just click create it. Oh. And some of the different approaches that I discussed in solving single digit multiplication is simply kind of counting, right? So if you know for fives example, if you're doing 5 times 3, you can do the simple approach of just counting by fives. 5, 10, 15. And then you'll be able to get your answer right here, 15. Additionally, we also discussed other problems where you could kind of reference a problem previously. So for example, we worked through 3 times 8, right? And you could do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, and 24. But once you have that to doing a similar problem like 4 times 8, all you have to do is simply add 8 to that. Since we discussed, since you're adding 1 here, you simply have to add 8 here. And so that's a quicker way to get the answer for this, which would be 32. We also discussed how, and so we went through several practice problems with that, just simple single-digit multiplication, along with various forms of counting by 5, anywhere from ranging 5 times 3 all the way up till 5 times 9. Another strategy that was also discussed was for problems where, they're all drawings. Let's see here. For something like 3 times 6, there are two ways to look at it. You could either look at it as 3 multiplied by 6, where you would count by threes, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and you would look for the sixth number. And we also looked at how 3 times 6 is the same as 6 times 3. So you could also do 6, then 12, then 18, and which is the third number. And you're going to get the same answer both times, because with multiplication, just like addition, right, where 1 plus 2 equals 2 plus 1, 1 times 2 equals 2 times 1. Regardless of the order, the answer is still the same. Which is so that's why we don't have to worry about which way we look at it. And that's why sometimes it's easier to solve a problem one way than another. And we looked at this, for example, with 4 times anything multiplied by 5. If you look at it as 4 times 5, then we might count 4, 12, 16, 20, 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. However, this would be more complex, as you can just see, right? Then if you already know how to count by fives, and you can just go 5, 10, 15, 20. It's a lot simpler and a lot quicker than going by fours and possibly messing up along the way. And so that would be one example in which it's beneficial to kind of try and understand which is the easiest way to look at this problem to solve the multiplication. After looking a little bit at different ways to solve these single-digit multiplication problems, I also introduced the multiplication table, which is right here. And so this site here, I just Googled multiplication times table, and it came up with this. This is a nice site because it has a lot of variation. You can go from anywhere from a 4 by 4 multiplication table, which is very simple, to a 10 by 10. And the other good thing is that you can also hover over some of these, and you can see exactly what's being multiplied. So for 20, you see 5 times 4 equals 20. Additionally, For 30, you can see it's 6 times 5. For 32, 4 times 8. And so this is a very useful tool when you're trying to first learn single digit multiplication, as it lays out nicely what two numbers that you have to multiply to get the answer. And also discussed quite a bit how a lot of single digit multiplication is simply kind of memorizing it, right? Once you continuously add and count to get to your answer, it becomes a lot easier for you just to know it right off the top of your head. One of the things is like these smaller digits are ones that we learn quicker. A lot of us know 2 times 2 is just 4, 3 times 3, 9. And this multiplication table can help quite a bit in learning to memorize and kind of master this single digit multiplication so you can use it in larger variations in lots of different situations. So this was another thing that was discussed using this. And there are simpler forms, such as the 5 times 5 multiplication table, and it can be gradually increased in learning. And so the main numbers that we discussed today were from kind of in the 6 range, going from 6 by 9. So kind of the 9 by 9 multiplication table, but only looking at these first 6 columns. As these numbers are a little bit easier to go about counting with the counting method, it becomes a little more difficult once you move into the number 7 and trying to find, for example, 7 times 7, as it's very awkward to count 7, 14, 21, 28. But by gradually improving and practicing, it becomes simple just to memorize all of these. So these two sites, multiplication table, as well as simple math worksheets, so typing in multiplying worksheet are good resources to use when looking for a way to practice your multiplication. Oh, that was just a little bit of what we covered today.